Welcome to the Fair Weather Podcast. It's your boy 2K Suave. I'm here with my boy A Rod, A Rizzy, A Rodriguez. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on, man? Welcome back, everybody. Another fun episode for you guys to tune into.
Mm-hmm.
We got some interesting backgrounds for you there. We got Mr. Phillip Rivers, who's calling it a career and yoked out Patrick Mahomes behind my boy over there, 2K Suave.
My boy Mahomes was slumped, man. He was slumped.
Slump, slump guy for
Oh
sure,
God.
man. But he gonna be fine. He gonna be
Yeah.
fine. Uh, Definitely a lot of stuff to talk about today with what happened over the weekend with football. A lot of um, you know emotions riding on this game for the Ravens going in there with the Bills. We both said that the Ravens were going to go in there and handle work, but
Mhm.
Bills Mafia ain't nothing to fuck around with. You're seeing it
Hey,
now. These guys come to play. They're ready. They did their homework. Um, and they got things done. And with the Ravens, they're a good team, man. Don't sleep on the Ravens. Don't think like, just because Lamar lost his game, like he's curse bitten. They did one thing though that they should have done more of, and that's run the football. And
yeah.
that's that they're good at doing that. So I don't get why they didn't do that. But they ended up going into Buffalo and they lost 17-3. Um, Obviously Lamar Jackson was taken out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But he, at and the other crazy thing is the guy that we ride so high on, Justin Tucker,
My
missed two
boy
field goals.
Justin Tucker the leg, man. The black mamba of kickers.
So the elements definitely played into that game as well. It was
Yeah.
very windy there. But one thing while watching that game that I noticed, if he would have made both of those kicks and that pick six didn't happen, they would have scored on that drive. We probably would have had a tie ball game, possibly going into overtime
Mm-hmm.
when I was watching that. So things, obviously, you're more geared and prepared for stuff. Obviously, Buffalo, they play in that weather more than
Exactly.
Baltimore has, because it's Buffalo to me, is pretty much Canada. Like it's brick weather out there all times.
Yep.
But those boys came to play, they came to win, and they did what they had to, get done. And I mean, give me your insight on it.
Like the one of my favorite musical groups of all time, Wu-Tang Clan said, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to mess with. Bills Mafia, man. Like I thought the Ravens have swag, but the Bills have swag. Like from top to bottom, from the head coach to the 53rd man, the equipment people, all of them. Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, all them boys are just they're so comfortable. I mean, I thought the pressure might get to them too much. Being that Lamar Jackson's been there, done that, so you expect Lamar Jackson to play a lot better. One of my favorite people on TV, Shannon Sharp, he compared Lamar Jackson. I don't know if this is a fair comparison, but he compared Lamar Jackson to Giannis Antetokounmpo. That during the regular season, they run wild and do what the hell they do, but come playoff time, everyone knows what they're going to do. What do you think about that?
That's a good analogy right there. Good
Yeah.
comparison. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like they in their division, I thought they were the favorite to win it. No, I didn't think Big Ben and them were going to go on that crazy run that they did. Um, but yeah, it's like they just coast to it to get to the playoffs, and then they're out.
It
And
got tight, and you could just tell they were just a little tight. And I mean, Lamar, when he got them down to the goal line just about, and when he threw that pick six, you could just feel just the air out of their team completely just disappear. Like there was nothing left for them. Like there's no more. The swag was gone.
yeah,
And that's just. I mean, it's sad because obviously I'm a huge Lamar Jackson guy, but
I
yeah.
I also feel that like they're a team of a lot of emotions. They're like they have players that have so much emotion, and sometimes they can't turn those buttons off. Like
Marcus
Marcus
Peters,
Peters, like Peters is a hell of a talent, man. But
he's a
I mean, hood,
goon.
hood dudes, hood dudes are gonna do what hood dudes are gonna do, man. They're gonna
he
talk and play the game.
he's dead
And
ass a goon.
yeah, exactly. And if shit ain't going the way for Marcus Peters, like he's gonna get to yapping, he's gonna be upset, and
Mhm.
he's the kind of guy that like, you know, you get to he. This is how I truly portray Marcus Peters. Like he's the guy I want on my team, but he's a guy I want to keep happy and I want to keep winning with him, because if not,
Exactly.
he's like the kind of guy that comes in to a fresh start. He's hyped to be there. He loves playing there. But as soon as you lose one game, like one playoff game, and you're done that year, like he's ready to pack his bags and go somewhere else. Like that's how I truly feel about the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But they also have good veteran leadership in Calais
Class
Campbell. He's
Campbell,
a
yeah.
good guy to have there to kind of talk these young guys down.
Really good locker room guy, Calais
He
Campbell.
really is, man. Like, he's like one of those under the radar type players. Like
Yeah.
everybody wants to focus on other names. He's a household name in my opinion,
Yeah,
but
he is.
he's like a household name that some people might not know in a way,
Yeah. I mean, it's
Um,
hard to miss a defensive tackle that's 6'8".
yeah, I
He's a
mean
damn power forward playing football.
when you play for teams like the Cardinals and
The
the
Jags.
Jaguars too, it's kind of hard to
That's true.
become relevant.
Mhm.
But he's a good player. They obviously went out and got the dude from Jacksonville that went to Minnesota. I can't say his last name to say this.
Ngakwe.
There you go. There we
Hey,
go.
you know we were talking about the mad Nigerians in the NFL, NBA.
Nigeria's getting it done,
We
man.
get
Shout
it done,
outs.
man. We get it done.
Shout outs, man. But they're gonna be okay. But Bills Mafia, they got everything clicking. Like
Mhm.
Stephon Diggs. I didn't want to be a believer in Stephon Diggs, but dude is a baller. Dude is a baller. And the funny thing is, I think we talked about this before. Minnesota, like one dude in the locker room interviewed all the players, and they were like, if your sister had to go on a date with one player or one teammate of yours, who would you not want her to date? And like almost the entire locker room said Diggs. So
Hey, again, that Bill swag. He carries that Bill swag on his back. Him and Josh Allen got his little bromance going on. But there was like I said, we were talking about this debate. Calvin Ridley or Stephon Diggs. Man, Stephon Diggs is another animal. Like he's on another level. And I think in a weird way you can say he's underrated
I
because
still think even though he led the league in yards, like
yeah, but we talk about Devontae Adams, we talk about Hopkins, rightfully so, Michael Thomas, all these other guys, but Stephon Diggs is never really in that conversation as one of the best wide receivers in the league
you
until
know
you see
why?
his stats and
You
his
know why?
production. What's
He's
up?
quiet. He's
He's quiet.
quiet
Yeah,
and produces. That's
yeah.
the type of guy I want on my team. A humble dude who produces, man. He can be dumb as shit, man, because I don't think Stephon is the smartest dude in the world. Like you saw him on what was it? That show with Steve Harvey, and he gave that stupid ass
Oh,
answer.
the Family Feud.
Leave it. He said in. God bless, man.
Hey, but
But anyways,
the one thing that always stands out to me about Stephon Diggs was the miracle that they had against the Saints a few years
Mhm.
back, and he took off his helmet. He wanted to make sure because you mentioned that thing you don't want to bring your sister around him. He took off his helmet so people could see his face. They had the camera on his face and look at me, look at
Everybody's
me.
sister saw that then.
You're like, yeah, that's me that got that touchdown.
Oh man. All right, let's move to the next one. Chiefs Browns. Um Pretty good game overall. It got kind of scary towards the third quarter. We get to see, if you're watching the video, Patrick Mahomes got yoked and he kind of got up like who their coach, and they had to take him in a concussion protocol.
It looked like the 80s, stumbling around. No, I got it. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Like, no, bro.
Yeah,
You need
nah,
to
man.
get to the sideline.
They get some Gatorade in you and go into the blue tent for a bit. Baker Mayfield should have handled work, should have took care of business and closed out that game. But insert Chad Henne.
Anything is
Chad Henne,
possible.
man. Chad Henne, it was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for me watching that dude. As soon as he came in, I said, this game is done, because he obviously threw the most controversial, easy pick I've ever seen in my life. Like he
It was a
literally threw
punt.
it to
It
a
wasn't a
defender.
pick. It was a punt.
Yeah, the guy was in the end zone like this and just caught it. Like it was like he knew it was happening. I think America knew that was happening. At least one was going to happen.
Yeah.
But he did have that. In my opinion, it was a first down. That 9-yard run, even
Yeah.
though it should have been 10 to give him inches, and then he completed to Hill to just seal the deal. So they go in there, they take care of business, or the Browns try and go in and take care of business in Arrowhead. 22-17, the Chiefs come out victorious. Talk about it, man. Spit it.
So, from my perspective, obviously the injury was scary. You know, instantly I'm already thinking about damn, like the Super Bowl is ruined because I want to see Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And as soon as I see him all woozy and stuff, I'm like, man, they must have like really knocked his block off. Like he look, I never seen. It's been a while since I seen somebody wobble like that. Like he was doing the wobble dance on the field. It was crazy. It was crazy. But I think the game went pretty much how I picked the Browns last week because I needed to pick an upset. You know, at the end of the day, you know, my job is to be as unbiased as possible.
I could have
And
swore you picked the Packers to lose.
I picked no. I picked the Packers to win. I picked the Chiefs to lose because the Browns matched up pretty well with them because they were going to run the piss out of the football as they should have. You told me Nick Chubb was the best running back in the
He didn't look that
NFL.
good that game, and Nick
I
Chubb still
I
is.
can't tell.
I don't care, man. Everybody has a bad game. I'm not saying like playoffs should be your bad game. There's no vouch for that, but he had some drop passes that were not given to him. He's more of a running back than a receiver, your ground and pound back. But we've seen him catch the ball
He's
and
the
clear 40,
prototypical
30 yards.
SEC back.
He
Give him
is.
the ball and just let him gain and gain and gain and gain, and that's what they have. I mean, the Browns. It's not like they don't have weapons. Jarvis Landry is a very good receiver. Higgins, you texted me when he fumbled, when he fumbled in the goal line and it was a touchback. I would have cut him at
I would
halftime
have cut that boy at halftime.
because
I'd have been like, thank
Bill
you.
Belichick, the greatest coach of all time, him and Nick Saban. Bill Belichick says never extend for the first down or the touchdown because that's exactly what's going to happen when you extend. And it's weird to say that because you want your players to give that extra effort, but it's so risky to extend at the goal line because that's exactly what could have happened. So that was a momentum breaker for them.
It
Uh,
wasn't. It was. Hold on. It was also kind of controversial too because Sorensen led with a helmet as well, so it could have gone both
who
ways. I mean,
cares? It's
I
football.
I agree with you
It's
100%.
January, bro. It's football. Come on.
I agree, but it was up in the if Tony whatever Tony Romo says, I'm kind of running with what Tony
No.
says.
Listen. Everybody was getting so sensitive. Oh, everybody was siding with the Browns and everything about that play, and I'm just sitting like I'm the realist. I don't care about all the sensitivity. Just like I didn't care about the Giants crying a few weeks ago. That play, I mean, it's football. Like it is what
It
it
is.
is.
It is. No,
Everybody was
I'm not
crying.
trying to justify, but
Yeah,
I'm saying if that call was overturned, I would have been like the same, like the show would have still carried on.
yeah.
We would have talked about that as well. It was a 50-50 thing for me, but I think they got the call right. And
So
and
how how do you think Baker handled himself in that game though? Like, you think he played well?
I don't think he played bad. I don't think he played bad. It was his his weapons really bailed him out. Like Hooper had a big catch
Mm-hmm.
for him that was pivotal to a touchdown drive. Um, I think he did good. It's growing pains. You got your first playoff. You got your first taste of the playoffs. You can't go in there your first time and win it all. Like that's like a Cinderella story.
Especially playing for the Browns. Like the whole
Exactly.
city is gonna
Progression,
ride with you no matter what.
progression, fair weather fans. Progression. That's all you
Progress-
want to see. Like if you
Nah,
didn't,
the Browns are not fair weather fans. The Browns is hardcore.
Browns are fair weather
They
fans,
be
but they're
bark.
all, they're
They be
hardcore fair.
they'll be 1-15 barking up the damn stadium.
Oh yeah, you know it for sure. But
Arr,
still,
arr, arr.
it's what 20 years since you haven't been to the playoffs, man. You know,
When
be happy.
when Baker got to the NFL, I like Baker. He's a swaggy little dude. You know what I'm saying? But he's a little short guy playing quarterback, and I liked him. But I felt like his head got too big, too
Yeah,
quick.
that's how I felt.
So I needed him to be humble. So when he was going through all his struggles, I don't want to say I was happy that he was struggling, but I was happy that he was being humble through that process. And I feel like how he handled himself ever since OBJ got hurt, winning that game against Pittsburgh, and then how he could have won this game against Patrick Mahomes, who's right now the cream of the crop as far as quarterback in the NFL. I think he handled himself pretty well. But yet, at the end of the day, talent will win in January in the playoffs. The Chiefs, from top to bottom, to me right now, the Chiefs and the Bucks have the most talented teams in the NFL right now. So, the Chiefs took care of business. I'm not surprised. Hopefully Mahomes is ready to play this weekend because we got to do a prediction now. Like, what do you think is going to happen between the Chiefs and the Bills?
Yeah, before you get into that, like I want to touch back on like Baker's maturity. I didn't like him at first either because when he came in there, I remember Duke Johnson was like the running back and he was just getting shitted on every opportunity and he was like producing. And then when they got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, he was like, "What do y'all need me for? Like, can I just go somewhere I can like have at least a role?" And then Baker was like, "We don't need that type of shit here." Like, dude, that guy's been there losing and
He,
playing his heart and soul. And like, I
he
get you the first round pick and all that
yeah,
shit, but like, even the locker room guys that play with Dupe are like, "Yo, man, cut this shit,
he
man."
did that. He did. That's another time he pissed me off. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get to the prediction, but another time he pissed me off when Hugh Jackson got fired.
Yeah,
And then Hugh Jackson's with Cincinnati as a offensive coach of some sorts, and he didn't want to like dap him up and shake his hand. He was like, "No, we don't do that. This is a rivalry." Blah blah blah. I'm like, bro, Hugh Jackson did nothing to you.
I know, man.
He was salty that he started Tyrod Taylor over him, but
2 games into the season, he came in.
the way football used to be historically is the quarterback needs to like
Learn and adjust.
learn. And so to me, that happened, and I got a little offended by how he was.
By the
By
way, who did Baker get his first win against?
the Jets, right? But he wasn't the starter of that game, so technically not the Jets. Because he
he
came
came
in,
in. He came in and cooked them, bro.
he
He
did
came
cook
in and
him,
cooked them.
but they didn't have film on him. They had film on Tyrod. They didn't know what they were going to get.
Still, man, I don't care.
Don't cry. It's okay.
It is what it
Take
is.
it back.
Anyways, let's jump into conference championship. Chiefs or Bills are going to go to Arrowhead and they're going to play the Chiefs. So
Mhm.
we it's going to be a really good matchup. And the way the Bills are playing right now, they're playing great football, man. Like, and this game depends on Patrick Mahomes being there, 100%, 95%. They can probably get by with it, but he's got to be, clicking on all points, man. He's got to be completing passes, doing the things he does, and hopefully his running back is there. Edwards-Helaire is there because everyone was clowning him on that play. Like, use your running back. That's what you got him for. What you running for like that?
Yeah.
But he's got to get, the offense clicking, and they got to run the ball against Buffalo because the Ravens, I don't know why they didn't do it. They got scared to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think Mahomes is scared. But, I think the Bills are set top to bottom. And I think where they can pick you apart is I feel like the Kansas City defense is not as good as everybody like really thinks it is. Like there's
I
like
think they're fine.
I think they're fine, but I just think there's like two really good players on it. Like, when you think of defense is like you got a strong line, you got a strong linebacking core and you got like a strong secondary or like pieces, like two of the three. I feel like the Chiefs just got like one of each in each of those things.
But it's work. I mean, Honey Badger is to like playoff time. He's so locked in. He brings that LSU swag with him, like like that SEC thing with him when and during the playoffs. You can just see it on his face. You can see it in the style of play. Chris Jones, another like he's a monster. He clogs up the hole. He gets to the quarterback. He tackles for loss. So the Chiefs defense is not the issue for me in this one. Buffalo obviously has an explosive offense, but Andy Reid, he's coaching against McDermott, who is part of that Andy Reid
Lineage.
Andy Reid has a better lineage than Bill Belichick. Can we agree on that?
I 100% agree on that. Like the
So
Bill Belichick shit, it don't work. Like if you play with
overrated.
Belichick,
Bill Belichick's the greatest coach in the world, but his tree, they all assume, it's just gonna work.
they people get on these head coaches really quick before they should. Like you got to see progression. Like Josh McDaniels, that's the guy you go out and get. Like he's been doing it day in and day out. Like that's the guy who should be having a head coach job.
But McDaniels had a job with the Broncos and he shot the bed.
Yeah, but I feel like that was
ran him out of there.
I felt like that was too soon to give him that job. Now that he's been back doing what he's been doing, he's showing that he's good at it again.
So what about the coach? Remember the coach job that he took and then backed out of?
Yeah, I think he just saw what was going on there with Andrew Luck and was like, I'm
That's kind of
good.
grimy, don't you think?
It's the
He lacks the leadership skills that I would want in a head coach. I don't think he's ever going
in
to be a good head coach. I think he's going to be a great offensive coordinator forever. The next job he gets is going to be a head coaching job, probably with the Patriots, and they're going to fail because I don't
yeah.
think he's a leader. He's a great play caller. He can develop talent well, develop a quarterback well, but I don't think he has the leadership skills. To be very honest with you,
In Bird Percy's culture, that was a dick move what he did at the Colts. But
exactly.
I mean, there's some guys that have it, there's some guys that don't. And I think what it boils down to is like, do players like playing for you is the real thing. And what type of players like playing for you? That should be one thing that these guys should be looking at head coaches. And
And
we'll
if
get
you
into that in a second because we're
Yeah,
really
but
getting
if you
to the
listen to
top.
all these, no, but it goes with the game. If you look at all the players, they love playing for Andy Reid. Like Andy Reid, as
I
a
agree.
as an Eagles fan, I remember the day we fired him. I was so mixed emotions because like I loved him. It was like a divorce that just had to happen.
Yeah.
We
It's
stayed
hard.
together for a while for the kids, but it just had to happen. We just had to go see other people, and I'm happy that he was able to go to Kansas City to get a ring because we failed him. Because I think Andy Reid is a great coach, and people like to play for McDermott as well. Like you can just tell
That guy
his
has no emotion, but he gets the job done,
they
man.
enjoy. Yeah, but you can just tell this again the swag. The same thing the Chiefs have, the Bills have that as well. They both have swagoo, and it's unmatched when you can see it on the field, rain, snow, cold, whatever. So
But
I
you
think
see,
it's gonna come down to coaching in this game.
I agree 100% on that. I think it's going to come down to coaching. That's what
So
I
do
think.
do you think the teacher or the student is going to be the better coach in this one?
Man, I'm going to go down to the teacher, man, because I've always been a huge Andy Reid fan.
Exactly,
And I think he's got a good quarterback in Mahomes if he's running 100%. He'll be able to pick apart that defense, find the right
90%.
guys. And Tyreek Hill wants to be involved in that offense all the fucking time.
Hmm.
So they're gonna be straight. I think the Bills go into Arrowhead and the Chiefs take care of it. They're gonna win. I'm gonna say 32-24. That's what I'm
Okay.
calling that.
So here's what's going to happen: the Chiefs are going to win, and I feel like the Bills are going to be up early, and it's
I
going to look a little scary because
gonna look a
Patrick
little
Mahomes is
Texany, a
he's
little
gonna be
Texany.
favored a little bit because like damn, I'm seeing ghosts because I just took a couple of hits and I'm not trying to get out this game. So I think he's gonna be favoring. But second half, Travis Kelsey, the best tight end since Antonio Gates, no, since Gronk, and then Antonio Gates. Travis Kelsey is gonna go down as a top 3 tight end of all time, by the way. Just FYI.
It's gonna
But
happen.
Travis Kelsey, Tyree Hill, you're gonna see some McCole Hartman trick play or something like that. Tyrann Matthew is going to have a pick in this game. I think it's all going to come together in the second half for them. I got the Chiefs winning 37-28.
Okay, I like it. I like that. All right, let's jump to the NFC. So Packers, Rams. I don't think we got a lot to talk about there, man.
The one thing we can talk about
32-18.
honestly is Jalen Ramsey versus Devontae Adams because that was
That's
fun.
the good one.
That
That
was
was a lot
entertaining.
of fun.
The
That and
audio,
apparently there's a bromance going on with McVay and Goff now. Like those dudes were like high off of each other, and apparently like
McVay and
McVay.
Goff.
Yeah, you didn't hear? Apparently McVay is like pissed off at Jared Goff and the way he handles a lot of things. So
I
but
don't know.
I don't think that's a lot of credit to go towards. I think the big matchup of the game definitely was Devontae Adams versus Jalen Ramsey. And Devontae held his own. You
Yep,
can go
no.
listen to the mic'd up conversation. It's actually very entertaining.
Don't run for me. Don't
Yeah,
run.
that's right. Yeah, you can say what you want about Jalen Ramsey, man. Like there's a reason the Rams went and got him. And I've been telling you that Rams defense is stout. Like they're really
That's
good.
what
That's
they
what they're
got.
known for.
That's what
And
they got.
obviously their coordinator's got a head coaching job because of it.
Mhm.
But he's also got the help of Aaron Donald as well. But like I said, you can say what you want about Jalen Ramsey. If he's the best, one of the best, if he's sus because he licks his lips during interviews and it's
He's
super
the
weird,
best. He's the best
but
corner in football right now.
he gets things done. And granted, Adams did get a touchdown on him. It was like a crazy kind of touchdown you're gonna get. Like he had to literally beat him down the other way for 1 yard into the end zone.
That's
It
what
was
you got to do, though. Like you gotta get creative against these, like your boy Darrell Revis, um, Stephon Gilmore,
Charles
Jalen Ramsey.
Woodson,
You got to
all
get
those guys,
creative
man.
against these kind of guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, I love that matchup. But how good is Aaron Rodgers looking right now?
To quote my man Stephen A,
He's a
he's a
bad
bad man. That's a
Aaron,
bad man. And
Aaron
you saw that
Rodgers.
Russian touchdown. That
Aaron,
Russian
that
touchdown, man.
he was looking like Lamar Jackson out there.
He did one of those, and
Little fade.
homeboy jumped up, and he just
Yeah.
like waddled that in there, man. He
But
said, "Hold on."
my boy Aaron Rodgers, man, he's having so much. I'm telling you, Jordan Love, them drafting him was the greatest thing that ever happened to Aaron Rodgers because he hasn't felt threatened in a while. Like his stats have been great over the last 10 years, but I feel like he got that Super Bowl and he was stuck in that McCarthy system. And
Yeah.
McCarthy is so boring. He doesn't have any innovative plays. It's the same thing over and over and over. And now he has LaFleur, and you can just see a little bit more excitement from him. And you can just see it in that game. Like he's dancing on the sideline, he's dancing at practice. He's got that look in his eyes where he's like, oh, I got him now. He's always getting, he draws people off sides and he's able to, always get those free plays. Like Aaron Rodgers is comfortable. He's having fun. What more can you say? And the Rams were, they didn't have Cooper Kupp. Aaron Donald had like a torn something, like what was it, chest or something? He had like something torn in his body. And
Yeah, that man cried. It hurt me to watch him cry.
Yeah, but that's tough. Like him and Drew Brees were crying at the end because it's tough to lose, and when you're playing hurt, it's tough. So I'm not surprised that game went the way it went. The Packers offense is crazy right now. And I expect nothing less from that in the following week.
I agree. Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
Buccaneers, they got a guy in Terminator Tom now. They call him Tampa Tom, but I'm calling him Terminator Tom, man, because in the playoffs, he's a different beast, man. That guy gets it done.
Go blue.
Bucks go into the
Superdome,
and they beat them 30-20. I had it going a little bit different. You had the Bucks winning this one. And obviously our guest, who's a big Bucks fan, as he should say, the Bucks should have won this. But
yeah,
the Bucks took care and did what they needed to do. Jameis Winston goes in there and gets a little revenge touchdown, which was nice to see.
He thought he was gonna eat a W, but
he got that little W in there for a second, but it ain't happened, man.
I mean, what it came down to is just Drew Brees he's done. Like his best days are gone.
That dude. So Drew Brees and Michael Thomas is a good tandem right there. It just sucks they both were in this type of shape come down to this, because I feel if we would have had a healthy Drew Brees and a healthy Michael Thomas, things would have been a little bit different, because Michael Thomas showed out hurt and wanted to play that last game for him. And
I didn't realize how hurt he was.
Yeah, I didn't either. I thought there was something like mentally up here wrong with him throughout the season, because he didn't play much, and I didn't know it was injuries.
Yeah,
because I know they didn't play him 1 game or 2 games because of something off field.
But he's just been hurt all he had the high ankle sprain after week 1. Took him a while to come back from that. And then he was pissed off about whatever. And then he came back, had a couple good games, got hurt again. So he's just been hurt. Drew Brees broke his ribs like in week 6 or 7 or whatever, and he had to deal with his stuff. Kamara just came off of COVID. Like it wasn't. I knew, I had a feeling it was gonna get ugly for them if they tried to do too much. And Taysom Hill didn't play either, and that's Sean Payton's like
bread and butter.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, it was. But I mean, like what I was trying to get is like if we had a healthy Drew Brees, because his wife, like I guess, aired out all the shit that was wrong with him too. Like, thanks, honey. Just wait till I get home and give me a kiss on the lips before you start talking the shit about me.
Airing out all my laundry.
I know, man. Like, let that man rest. Let him have this. Like, it's all good, But if they were healthy, I think we would have got a little bit different game. But Plus said it best. It's hard to beat a team or hard to lose to a team 3 times, and the Buccaneers were definitely not going to go into that mentality into that game. But Tampa fans should be super happy. We're from Tampa, so we live in Tampa, so you're seeing the culture around the city right now. Is a lot of
It's high.
those,
Tam-
those fair
Tampa,
weather fans are coming out from under the rock.
Tampa sports over the last 4 or 5 months. The Lightning won the the Stanley Cup. The Rays
In the World
were
Series with
right
the
there until they pulled Blake Snell for no damn reason, and then they
and
got Tom Brady.
yeah. Yeah, and just a cherry on top, you get Tom Brady, and now you're in the conference championship against Aaron Rodgers. So they got to go to Lambeau Field and try and get shit done over there. I think it's going to be a game of elements over here. I think it's going to be a very elementy type of game. And we know Tom Brady's got a little rule because of all of that with the snow. But I don't know how these other boys are going to be able to play there.
Yeah. And you saw him try to high five the ref.
Yeah.
He's got these refs in his pocket. He's like a mob boss, and he's had they're like the police. He's had him in their pocket for 20 years.
he's definitely somebody I truly hate. Like I really hate him. If I were to meet Tom Brady, I would not shake his hand.
If Tom Brady didn't go to the University of Michigan, I hate him too. But
yeah,
Tom, he's corny, but I like Tom. He's a little corny, but
I respect the man's game. I just won't shake his hand if I ever met him.
That's no. I'll give him a hug. Give him a little pat on the back and everything.
Hi, I'm Tom. Okay.
Nah, don't think about it. Antonio Brown would not play for anybody but Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Gronkowski would not come back to NFL for anybody but Tom Brady. Mike Evans is having like the best year of his life. Like Randy Moss came from he was in Oakland and was ready to retire. Came back and had one of the greatest years in NFL history. Like Tom will do that for you. Wes Welker has some great years. Edelman has some great years. Tom Brady's Tom Brady.
I'm gonna take care of you, man. I get it. I just hate the guy. 20 years of watching him beat my team will definitely do it for you. So
how many wins you got against Tom Brady? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head. There's a couple ones. I know the divisional game, the infamous Bart Scott.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. That's the one that I always remember because those 2 years with Mark Sanchez as the quarterback, we dominated the Patriots.
It was that defense. Your defense was stout.
The defense was good. The Jets have always had a good defense, but that's a conversation for another day. But exactly. Tom is Tom for a reason. In the playoffs, Tom gets shit done. So now he's got to go to Lambeau, and he kind of owns Aaron Rodgers a little bit when they're in the regular season. So this is going to be, kind of. Does Aaron just sit back and go in, Aaron Rodgers mode and just take care of this game? Because I think where Aaron can definitely excel in this game will be picking apart the secondary, because we all know the Bucs secondary is, really shaky. Everybody wants to say, oh, well, this dude's got like 8-9 picks, whatever. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not sold on anybody but Whitfield in the Bucs secondary. That's the only guy. Like Carlton Davis, he might have all those picks because they're going to throw towards him, man. Because they know that they're weak. Murphy Bunting, trash. Dean, he all right, but I'm going all day.
No, you know what? Their secondary is like a bunch of Asante Samuels. I love the Asante Samuel, but the thing about Asante Samuel, he's either gonna get burnt or he's gonna get the pick, and because he's a risk taker. So, and if you know Bruce Arians, is no risk it, no biscuit. So. That's why on 3rd and 3, Tom's still throwing the ball down the field, and that's why they're always going for every pick that they can go for. So that's just kind of just the MO of that team.
Yeah.
It really, I think what's going to come down to is which coach is going to be less stubborn, because it's Lambeau Field. It might be cold. Hell, it might even snow. When the elements are that way, what do? You play hardcore defense and you run the ball, and the Bucs have Leonard Fournette, who's a hard-nosed runner, Ronald Jones, a hard-nosed runner. So they need to ride that wave. Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, AJ Dillon, same thing. They have to ride that wave. If they try to make this like who's going to be the better quarterback, somebody's going to get caught slipping. That's basically what's going to happen.
I agree with that, and I think both quarterbacks know that as well. But they're also the type of quarterbacks that don't get cute in the game. They know
Yeah.
how to win the games.
But
Yeah,
Bruce Arians likes to get cute.
yeah. Tom Brady did beat him in the regular season, but I think this is going to be another game. I think the Bucks are going to go to Lambeau, and I think I'm sorry, Bucks fans, be happy you made the playoffs and got this far, but Aaron Rodgers is a bad man
Man,
at the
man.
end of the day. Like Tom Brady is going to go down as the GOAT, but Aaron Rodgers is going to take care of business. I'm going to call it 38-32. I'm going to go high scoring game on this one.
You don't got like a walk-off field goal like you always like to call?
I wanted to, but I'm gonna go back on some of these this time because we're not seeing too many walk off. But if anybody could do it, it's Mason Crosby, man. I'll give it him.
Maybe. If it's windy and snowing, probably not. So again, if somebody tries to get too cute, somebody will get caught slipping. I'm gonna pick sometimes I pick with my heart, sometimes I pick with my brain. This is more of like my heart pick because my brain wants to, my brain tells me the Bucks will probably win the game, but my heart, State Farm Bowl.
You want the State Farm / Super Bowl?
I want that State
That's
Farm.
what we want. We want Super Bowl 1 / State Farm Bowl. That's what we want.
I want that new Jake, not Jake, but the new Jake, the light skinned Jake. I want him to be doing like that commercial on during the Super Bowl will make so much money because everyone's gonna switch to State Farm. Think about it. You got Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. What? That's an aerial. That's beautiful. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. Tom Brady got 6. He's not.
We
He'll
need
be
a
all
good
right.
matchup. We need a good matchup in the Super Bowl too, because
Yeah.
I think we talked about this in the last episodes. Like, how many times do we see the Super Bowl and it's like, one really good quarterback versus a mediocre one, and like maybe a good defense. Yeah, it's a good game, but like we never get to see the
last year we had Garoppolo versus Mahomes. The year before that we had Jared Goff versus Tom Brady. Even when we won the Super Bowl, Nick Foles. Like it was like we haven't had that. Damn, these two good quarterbacks. At least we're getting that in the NFC Championship game. We're getting Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. But the Super Bowl, you want, Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. It'll still be a good game if it's Tom Brady anyway. But
yeah, I agree.
We'll
I agree. I think Packers are gonna take the cake on this one though.
38-35.
I like that one. Field goal.
Field goal. It won't be it won't be by field goal. I think Tom Brady gonna score at the end, and they're going onside kick, and then they're not gonna recover. And then
the great fuck up of 2021 happens. So we got some head coaches.
Oh man, we do.
We got some head coaches, and we got some different feelings about them. So let's run it down let's run it down these head coaching hirings. So the most intriguing one was Jacksonville. They go out and get Urban Meyer. He gets to stay in Florida, stay with his family. Big recruiting area.
Magically, his headaches are gonna go away. He's not gonna be stressed no more.
Yeah. And he's enticing. It's an enticing play. You get to have basically a clean slated team, and the first pick overall, which we all know is going to be Minshew, even though he's like all cards are on the table. It's definitely Minshew, but
Minshew.
Wow. Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. Gardner Minshew's better than Trevor?
Hey man, I feel bad for that guy because they was like riding that wave, and
but
they're gonna forget about that wave
to sell tickets. And then once they can't have fans no more, they're like, all right, we'll get this guy out of the game.
Exactly, man. That's what's gonna happen. But some team is gonna overpay for him, like the Broncos. Some team overpay for him.
Absolutely.
But Trevor Lawrence would for sure be the number one pick, and that's an intriguing place for him to go. And I think it's a good pick for Jacksonville as far. There's like three or four head coaches in college football that I think should be in the NFL, and he's definitely one that's not in anymore, but still has college heritage in him.
Yeah, I mean, people respect him at the end of the day.
Yeah,
and Trevor Lawrence is the next Andrew Luck, mixed with a little bit of Peyton Manning, and I'm like, bro, I love me some Trevor Lawrence. So I think I'm a little nervous because it is Jacksonville, and when has Jacksonville really had a culture of winning? Like it's they've had a couple good runs, but they didn't really have the culture of winning. But if anybody's gonna get Trevor Lawrence, it might as well be Urban Meyer and whatever staff he put together. I think that's a good hire. But let's talk about how about your boy Salah.
Mashallah, man. First Muslim head coach. Shout out to that dude. We go and get the 49ers defensive coordinator, pry him away, and he was in my top 3 that I wanted. I'm happy with that. Like I like him a lot. And his press conference today was really good. Watching that, the stuff that he's going to employ to the team. He already announced his staff, which I like that too. Him and the head coach of the Packers, actually, he was the best man at his wedding. So he took his little brother. He's going to be our offensive coordinator now.
That's dope.
So I'm good. I'm happy with it. I think they got it right. Historically, defensive coaches do well for us, and they get our defense back to where they need to be. You look at Todd Bowles. You look at
Rexy.
Sexy Rexy. They all did that and got it together. So I'm not mad with it at all. I'm actually kind of, I'm crawling out from under my rock once again, being a Jets fan.
You open up the curtains a little bit, like
Yeah, it's like the Homer Simpson meme where he just comes out the grass.
Come out the grass like.
I still had the same hat on, the same hat and tee on though. The same way, it was just coming out like it was a better cookout on the other side than it was on this side.
Yeah, but you got to pee what's going on at this party.
Yeah, the only thing that can mess this up going forward would be ownership. I hate the Johnson brothers. They're not good owners in my opinion. Obviously, one was working for Donald Trump, and the other one just got thrown into the mesh because his brother was working for Donald Trump. So I feel like their heart's not invested in it that much. And the GM, no offense to the Eagles for prying him away from the Eagles. Like there was no reason we needed to fire the GM. We brought in this guy to change culture, and he's just purging the roster from day one, which I'm not a big fan of. Like these
there's nothing all the way wrong with that, because I mean, when the Dolphins hired Brian Flores, they got rid of everybody that wasn't trying to be bought into Brian Flores' system. And look, 10-6.
But he also recruited very well. Like he got a lot of guys in the Patriots to come over, and it does work well. But historically, in my opinion, I don't think it works that well. But I'm happy with that hiring. I think the Jets will be good with that guy. I think he can entice some very intriguing free agents to come over in the offseason to play. Let's just see what they do with those 2 first-round picks. The Chargers, we said they hired Brandon Staley from the Rams. They hired the defensive coordinator and pry him away because he did a good job.
Do you think that's going to help? Oh my God, what's the quarterback's name? Herbert. You think that's going to help him getting a defensive coordinator? Because Anthony Lynn is an offensive guy, and I mean he had a great year, offensively at least. But you think DT is going to help him out?
I'm gonna get into this in a minute when we get to our last head coach who doesn't have a job. I just think the league shits on black coaches, man. I really think that's what happens. And I think it's really shitty because it wasn't Lynn's fault. It really wasn't. If you look at those games, they were lost by margins, and that's not your fault. There's pieces you're missing that aren't there to help. And they had a lot of injuries.
I'll give you both sides of the coin. His decision making a little bit towards the end of the game was kind of questionable. I'll give them. But that's not a reason to fire him, though. I will question some of his decision making, but I would say the injuries that they've suffered through for 2 years straight outweighed some of the decision making that he made at the end of those games. So I mean, he can't control his best players getting hurt all the time. It's just,
how many games Eckler was out for?
6, maybe.
Yeah, it was a lot of games he was out, and then the whole shit with Melvin Gordon last year, like
Derwin James has been hurt.
I get it, you gotta like develop players and try and get them to do, but when Joshua Kelly starts off hot and then you give him the opportunity to start and he fumbles the ball like 20 times, like who thought that was gonna happen? That he's not ready for the lights. Exactly. He's not ready for it. So I don't know. It depends on who he gets as an offensive coordinator. We'll see. I haven't been really paying attention because I don't care about the Chargers. But I mean, we'll see. It's definitely going to be good for the defense. I think they're going to like that, and they have a pretty good defense. So
they have the roster to be a very great defense because you got to deal with Mahomes twice a year. You got to deal with John Gruden, whatever.
John Gruden going to Gruden. So
we're going to see. And then the Raiders, they have some guys, but it's going to be good for them defensively because of Mahomes. That's your number one focus if you're the Chargers. How do we stop Patrick Mahomes? Because if we stop Patrick Mahomes, we have a chance to win the division. So it really just depends on who they bring in off for the offensive coordinator position.
Yeah. Atlanta goes and gets Arthur Smith, the Titans offensive coordinator. We'll see what happens there if they shake up that roster.
They probably will.
They're already saying they might move on from
Blank,
some of the offensive people.
yeah, Blank. I think he's pretty much done with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan still has a little bit left in the tank, but while he still has a little bit left in the tank, just get what you can for him.
Mm-hmm.
Draft like Zach Wilson or one of these guys out of college. Julio, they shouldn't get rid of Julio because to me, Julio should be a lifer in Atlanta. But
I agree, but
yeah,
at what point are you like, I gotta win? I gotta win something. Send me
yeah,
somewhere. Just don't go to the Bucks, please, for the love of God. That's all I don't
you
want.
wouldn't do that.
Detroit. This is a good pick, I think, for them. I've always said Dan Campbell is head coach caliber. He's interim head coach twice for the Dolphins, and they still didn't give him the job. And I know one year didn't win a game, and when he became the interim, they won that game. Um, but he was under the Sean Payton tree there in New Orleans as his
Mhm.
tight ends coach and an assistant head coach. So I think he's been well groomed. He gave a good, conference today talking about
Nah,
breaking
that
kneecaps.
dude is weird.
That dude is weird. Like
That dude's pretty
he
weird.
he definitely is the kind of guy that has a knife in his pocket at all times. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure. So you're not fucking
probably.
with that guy. Um, but I think that's the kind of culture that organization needs, though, because we said it already numerous times in this show that the Patriots system isn't working, and obviously Patricia wasn't that guy. Yeah, he's young, but he doesn't seem like fun to play for.
Nah.
Like,
They gave him too long of a rope. Like Jim Caldwell was a way better coach than him,
mm-hmm,
and they fired him after having winning seasons. Patricia has been horrendous. They're wasting Matt Stafford's career.
mm-hmm.
I mean, Kenny Galladay's career is being wasted. Marvin, all these guys' careers is being wasted.
Defensive players don't even want to play there anymore.
Exactly, and
They had like good,
he's a
they were
defensive
drafting
coach.
good players.
Yeah, Detroit. The hire is whatever to me because I don't think it's gonna work. I don't really care because
I don't either. It's a tough division, but I think it's the right step in the right direction for them with that guy. It's a watch and see approach, so we'll see what happens with that. Now let's go to your boys.
Whew,
Nick,
man.
what's his last name?
So
Sereni?
Serini or Serinsky,
Sereni, Colts
whatever.
offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Tell him how you feel.
So I'm a combination of Waka Flocka Flame, like okay, and Bernie Sanders sitting, unbothered, like why am I even here?
This could have been an email.
It's cold. It could have been an email. It's cold out here, man. You could have just sent me the minutes or something. So honestly, I don't feel great about it. I don't feel terrible about it. Indianapolis, they had a pretty good offense this year with an old quarterback. They did a good job running the ball, which I feel like we needed to focus more on. Miles Sanders is literally, he came from Penn State right behind Saquon Barkley, and he put up comparable numbers at Penn State when Saquon Barkley left. So to me, I feel like what Doug Peterson got away from was taking advantage of Miles Sanders. And so I feel like this is good for Miles Sanders. What it comes down to, what are we trying to do with Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz?
Yes.
I don't know what his vision is. I don't know where his head is at. I don't know. I didn't know this was even going to be a possibility. We were floating around Todd Bowles and McDaniels and Bieniemy and Mike Kafka and all these other boys, and we end up with Homeboy.
Dark horse.
And I'm just like, I mean, super dark horse. And we have a somewhat of a relationship with Indianapolis. We sent them Frank Wright. It might be like an inside job, and Frank Reich trying to get Carson Wentz, because he was our offensive coordinator. We won the Super Bowl. He was like, let me get Carson Wentz off you guys. I'll give you this coach. You guys, I'll take Carson Wentz. This might be some type of like shady deal or whatever, which I don't care because I don't know if how much I still believe in Carson Wentz yet. If you asked me this a year ago, I thought Carson Wentz was unnecessarily being bashed all the time for being hurt and blase blase, but I think his mind is not right. I don't think he was running Doug Peterson's offense, and I like what I saw from Jalen Hurts. So I don't know
Yeah. But there's no
what
tape on him
direction are we
either.
trying to go. What's up?
There's no tape on Jalen Hurts yet, so we got to see what happens year two. That's another
But
thing.
all right. So here's my thing on Jalen Hurts. When he was in Alabama, I would watch him play. I'm like, this guy can never be an NFL quarterback To me, he was just too. But that was kind of just their offense. They ran the ball a lot, and I just
But when he
like
went
you
to
have.
Oklahoma,
Yeah, he went to Oklahoma and he blew that thing up. So, but then I think, well, maybe that's just Oklahoma's system because Baker Mayfield blew it up, Kyler Murray blew it up, and he blew that thing wide open. So I'm not sure what we have in Jalen Hurts, and I'm not sure what we have in Carson Wentz. And Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie picked Carson Wentz over Doug Peterson. That's basically what happened. So
Mhm.
obviously that was part of the interview process. I'm pretty sure we're going to keep Carson Wentz next year, unless we can get a first or whatever. I don't know what we can get for him, but the only way we're going to be able to hold on to Carson Wentz, I mean, the only way we're going to get rid of Carson Wentz is if we get good value back. So
So,
hopefully he has a plan. I just don't know what his plan is.
so in one word, how do you feel about it?
In one word, mm, bamboozled.
I like that word. That's the best word you could have picked.
I feel
I'm fine with
bamboozled.
bamboozled. So
Hashtag bamboozled.
we'll see what happens there with that. So Houston, we get a lot to talk about Houston. One, they don't have a head coach. Two, their franchise quarterback and probably one of the top 5 best quarterbacks in the league is like, yo, go out and get this dude Bieniemy. Like I want him. He can do a good job for us. And then the ownership says, we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
We'll interview these guys.
So he gave a suggestion for GM. Well, they went through some kind of agency to get a suggestion for GM,
Yeah.
and they said, "No, we don't want that. We don't get this guy from New England." The last time they got somebody from New England, what was his name? Bill O'Brien.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell did Bill O'Brien do for the Houston Texans?
Fucked up a roster. Yeah, you took
He
him to playoffs, but
completely
you fucked up a
ruined.
roster.
Yeah, but no, he ruined that team. Bill O'Brien didn't take him to the playoffs. Deshaun Watson took him to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but he did. He totally fucked up that team. You ran Clowney out of there. They gave him GM like abilities too. He was a
Yeah,
GM.
he was a GM. He was a GM and the head coach.
So that's a slippery slope. Like there's only a few guys that can do that.
Bill
In the
Belichick.
Bill Belichick is one. I think Chucky can have those rights a little bit, but there's very few. I think Andy Reid should be able to do it too.
I
But
think
there's
Andy Reid just likes to coach.
I think Andy Reid just loves cheeseburgers. But anyways, there's few guys that can do that. Bill O'Brien is not one of them. That is not a guy you want doing it. But anyways, they don't have a head coach. This guy Bieniemy, like I said a little bit earlier, I feel like the league doesn't take black coaching seriously, and a predominant amount of your players are black in the NFL. And they want to just see people that look like them on the
Somebody they
side.
can relate to.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they want people to be able to relate to. And the league just doesn't seem to like it. This guy, there's no reason he doesn't have a job. Like I'm looking through this list of guys that just got hired, and 2 guys on that list should have been head coaches, and that's Saleh and him. Those are the 2 clear-cut candidates that should have been hired as head coaches. And they're
Because
not even one.
Salah's been doing his shit defensively, and he's
Yeah,
been doing his shit offensively. So you
yeah.
get the 2 best defensive coordinator and a best offensive coordinator, and you should be able to make something work.
You should be able to try it. Give it a 2-3 years run, and if it don't work, oh well, you tried.
Exactly.
But
At least you tried.
This is what Houston needs. Houston needs to hire this guy, but I don't even think he wants to go there if he doesn't know that Deshaun Watson's heart's there.
Mm-hmm.
So now Houston's got to find a way to keep him there, and I don't think it's happening. I think it's done.
Deshaun Watson is not showing up to camp. He's not showing up to training camp. He's not showing up for a preseason game. They've wasted. It's not like he's still young, so he's got plenty of talent left to give it to this league. I just don't think Houston deserves that. Deserves that. And
I don't think so either. Those guys fucked it all up.
As far as Bieniemy, I honestly I don't know. I've been hearing things like, oh, he's just not interviewing well, or whatever it is. I don't know what the real reason is. But does he just I mean, what other coaching vacancies are there still left? We got Houston.
That's Houston.
Is it just Houston?
Just Houston. I mean, there's some maybes out there, maybe Dallas, Pittsburgh, Seattle, Minnesota moves on from the coaches. I don't think any of them
None of them will, yeah, no.
But there's always a possibility. But this guy should be hired, in my opinion. If he fucks up an interview, like, you're a head coach. Like,
Mhm.
I need to see your locker room presence. I need to see like how players are attracted to you. I need to see how you're going to handle certain situations. And I feel like his resume, just watching it, does it. I feel like some of these guys, you don't even have to interview them. Like, you should just be like, okay, that's the guy we want him. Let's send him the offer and get
Mhm.
it done. Like
You
this
know who?
guy,
You know who
Arthur
vouched
Smith,
for him? Alex Smith
Alex
vouched for
Smith,
him.
Alex Smith even came out today and
Alex
said,
Smith, again, they call him a game manager, whatever. He's one of the best game managers I've ever seen. And he was able to run that offense successfully. Come Patrick Mahomes running that offense successfully. Like it's the Chiefs offense, mind you, Andy Reid is great, obviously, but the buck stops with him, but it starts with Eric Bieniemy. And a lot of people have come to his defense, like, I don't know why he's not a head coach in this
I
league.
don't I don't either, man. Like I don't want to throw the race card on it, but I hate doing that, but like it just seems that way, man.
Yeah, but honestly, just give him a chance. If it don't work, it don't work. But like the amount you give special team coordinator like Joe Judge a chance in New York. What the hell is that? He's not. He's
You give the most boring head coach in Mike McCarthy a job in like America's team with a whole fun offense to play with. Like, could you imagine if Bieniemy was on the Cowboys? Those
with
boys would
Dak
be balling.
and
Like, they'd
CD
be
Lamb and
balling.
Mark Cooper, Zeke, Pollard, a great offensive line. Like that's a lot. That's and I would hate to see it as an Eagles fan. I don't want Dallas to get. I don't want to get nowhere near that team. I want to keep
so,
the enemy in the AFC personally.
so, so Deshaun Watson, do you think things can be repaired or no? And where do you think he ends up? Because
No,
there's
that's
a whole
dead.
bunch of
That
that's
relationship. You know, we'll talk about divorces earlier. That's a divorce that is already we're just waiting for the Texans to sign their portion of the divorce. Like,
yeah.
he's already signed his, he's already moved out of the house.
There's a lot of intriguing things going on. Like they're saying that Urban Meyer could entice the first pick to try and get him.
I heard y'all might be interested in him, the Jets.
The Jets got a lot of stuff to give up. They got a lot. I'm okay with that. You know,
Colts.
it hurts. It hurts to get rid of Darnold, but I'd be okay for
Bro,
Watson.
you got to get over Sam, man.
I know I'm not over Sam.
Sam Darnold is what he is. He throws interceptions and he has talent.
He has trash on his team, but we'll talk about that another day.
All right.
Like,
But you wouldn't take Deshaun Watson over.
I would. I would. I'm
You
saying
wouldn't
I
even
would.
bat an eye.
I mean, it just sucks. But like, if you can, it depends what you want because people are grading him as 4 first-round picks and some. That's a lot to give
I
up.
heard 3 first-round picks.
It's regardless, that's a lot to give
That
up.
is a lot, but
Well, if you've got a
he's
lot
a
of draft
franchise
picks,
quarterback.
he
Like, think
is,
about
man.
it. He goes to San Francisco, taking over from Garoppolo with the defense that they have over there. They have pretty good receivers. They picked up
He's
IU.
also he's also been given tools to play with since coming into the league. Sam Darnold hasn't had that type of luxury. So now my argument would be if a team like New York were to get him, you need to give him tools. You need to get
But
that
I
guy.
think he can make it work with whomever.
Yeah, you're right. He did lead the league in passing.
He led
So
the league in passing. No Hopkins this year. Will Fuller got suspended towards the end. Who is he throwing
Brandon
the ball to?
Brandon
Kiki
Cooks is
Goody.
still a good player. I'm sorry. Like I always like Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks has been on 5 teams in 7 years. There's a
He's a good
reason why
player.
he's bouncing around.
Whatever.
Kiki
Anyways,
Goody.
so where do you think he would is a likely place for him to end up at?
Likely, I think Indianapolis should be on the phone right now.
I think so too.
I don't know if they want to trade it within a division because that's crazy, but
It's crazy talk.
Indianapolis needs to blow up their phone. I think the Dolphins might be if I was a gambling man like that, I'll put my money on Miami. Like, look, y'all can have Tua, change your culture with Tua because Tua's a nice guy and blah, whatever. And they give him some draft picks because the Dolphins got hella draft picks to give up. They got the 3rd pick. They get that pick back because that's the Texas pick. They'll get that pick back from them, give them Tua, give them a couple more picks. But to me, the Dolphins or the 49ers would be my guess right now.
Okay. So speaking of the Colts, Phillip Rivers called it quits. At the end of the day, that guy's like going down in history as one of the top 10 quarterbacks of all time. And he's
Top
like
10?
He's top 5 in like numbers, like right now.
But he's not a top 5 quarterback of all time. Not even close. Numbers is
Top,
numbers.
top 10. He's a
Not
top 10.
even top
Top
10.
15.
No, 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 no,
Well,
no.
he's a what I'm trying to get at for Phillip is that he's definitely an under the radar appreciated quarterback, and
Yeah.
he's been getting it done. Like we keep talking about Mahomes and Rodgers and Brady, and Phillip Rivers is like, do y'all see my numbers that I'm putting
But
up here?
they all got rings and things.
They do got rings and
And
things.
Phillip, 16 years, no rings.
Phillip is like Phillip's like in that Dan Marino purgatory level.
Yep.
Like great teams. When you run through all the players he's played with, LaDainian Tomlinson, Antonio Gates, Keenan Allen, Vincent Jackson, Lorenzo Neal, who else? Michael Turner, Darren
Mhm.
Sproles, Hunter Henry. Like there's just so many of them. So many.
He's a poor man's Dan Marino, but he's a Hall of Famer in my book.
Oh, he's a Hall of Famer.
I mean, if the committee said you can only choose between him and Eli Manning, I'm taking Phillip Rivers every day. I
I
don't
am
care about
too.
the rings. I don't care about none of that. I'm taking Phillip Rivers over Eli Manning because first of all, Eli Manning's a 500 quarterback. Phillip Rivers has a winning record. He has the yards, the touchdowns, the completion percentage. I mean, he only has one problem. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Ben Roethlisberger kept getting in the way.
That's it, man. That's really it.
I mean, yeah. I'm
He,
so I mean, I'm happy for him because he got like 35 kids he got to take care of, and
you got a big Christmas card to send out.
he's got he. I think he'll get a job in TV very quickly because he's entertaining, he's fun, he's a great trash talker. We all everyone no one hates Phillip Rivers. Like he's a fun guy to be around. Like
The league is losing probably the best shit talker. Like everyone thinks these DBs and wideouts got it, but Phillip Rivers, what's the word that he used in one of the things? It was so goofy. It wasn't Joe said malarkey. What was it? It's something I don't know, but like dude says some crazy words,
because
man.
has he ever? I've never heard him cuss before, right?
I don't nah.
I think
Like
he's like really like he's
Gang Nabbit. That's what it
yeah,
was. Gang
Dak Nabbit.
Nabbit.
Yeah. Like he got that one he got knocked down. He's like 90-yard touchdown. 90 yard. Yeah.
Dude's a clown, man.
Phillip is
But
fun,
we're
man. Phillip
we're
is fun.
losing we're losing a real one. He's always been
Yeah,
like one of my favorite quarterbacks.
for sure.
Um,
For sure.
but with that being said, we also have a couple other guys that could be retiring too, and we have a second chance for Dwayne Haskins to emerge in Pittsburgh. Does Ben Roethlisberger, decide to call it quits and they run with him as their franchise or their, potential log gap at the quarterback? And
Mhm.
what happens with Drew Brees next?
Drew
Those are
Brees.
two other
I think
guys.
I think Drew Brees is done. That's
You got
he
to do
had
what's right for that.
two seasons in a row. He's had injuries that have not. He broke his like finger or thumb or wrist or whatever it was last year, and then this past year with the broken ribs. And I think first he's a smaller guy. He's 6 foot tall, so playing quarterback, getting beat down like that all the time, he can't throw the ball down the field like he used to. The injuries have caught up to him. The age has caught up to him. I think Drew Brees is done. He needs to go hang out with his wife and his kids and call it a day. Big Ben, same thing with Big Ben is a bigger guy, but he's also taken a lot of injuries, a lot of pain, a lot of hits, and his heart has not been in football to me in 5 years.
Yeah, I
I
don't think.
I think bringing in Dwayne Haskins, I think what's going to happen is that Big Ben's going to have maybe one last hurrah, but they need to make sure they have Dwayne Haskins there to take over for him.
But Dwayne needs to sit. Don't throw him out to the
He
dogs.
needs time
And
because
don't make any TikTok videos with Juju, whatever you do, man. Don't
not
do that.
see that's that thing about Pittsburgh. Historically, they're a very mature, grown up, blue collar team. Now they're
Mhm.
all kiddie. Like Chase Claypool's playing video games. Like, oh, they're gonna get clapped, and Juju Smith is just dancing Corvette, Corvette, blah
I
blah blah.
got no beef with Juju, man,
I
except
love
for
no, but
I
he
think the league needs a Juju, but when you come out and say they're the same old Browns, you shot yourself in the foot on that one.
but you're in Pittsburgh. It's blue collar. Like it's
They
different.
like that though. Like you can't, but the cultures change. I get that the passing of the guard always happens. Like look at the Cowboys now. They're like the laughing stock of the NFL and they're America's team. You know,
For what?
exactly.
Thank you.
So I think I'm with you on that. Big Ben might have one last hoorah, but Dwayne better have that clipboard open all the time and he better
Mhm.
be taking notes.
Asking
And then
questions.
if if you can pay $300 to have a parade in New Orleans and fuck up traffic on a Tuesday, they better pay $3 million and fuck up traffic on a Tuesday for Drew Brees and let that man go out, the right
Absolutely.
way,
Yeah,
because that guy's done it all. And I feel bad. He got shafted 2 times. Um, this time he just played hurt, and it's just unfortunate, but he's given all to that city,
what
man.
he's done for the city of New Orleans is, I mean, he came there coming from San Diego. The Dolphins thing. I think that trade didn't go through because they say he had like a injury or whatever. What he's done for the city of New Orleans is unmatched. It's so you got to give it to him. Give him a key to the city. If he wants to run for mayor, give him some time. I don't know what he needs to do, but yeah, they got to give him a parade and let him just ride into the sunset and just chill and be with his family.
Yeah, just don't ask him what he thinks about players kneeling, and I'm fine with that. That's all I want. All right. Let's transition to NBA now. Let's talk some NBA talk. Uh so James James is now in a net. We talked about this on the last one, and since then they've gone 2-3. 2-3
Two and
the
one,
last games.
2 out of
0
3.
2, 0 2 with James and KD. But when good-hearted, misguided Kyrie comes back, we lose a game against the Cavs. So a couple of things to take away from this. Um, have the Nets been exposed? Are they
Oh,
exposed in how they are?
remember? Look,
Is hold on, is Kyrie like is Kyrie's in it to win it? Like, is his head game in to win this, or is like he want to be, a social justice warrior?
mhm.
And is sex land? Is this kid a baller or not, man? Like, we
Yeah.
got some stuff to talk about here.
So I've been all over this whole Brooklyn thing ever since I had a feeling it was going to happen. First of all, so KD and James Harden, that's a pair that could work. The
Mm-hmm.
two of them alone, that could work. Like my boy Harden had a triple double first game when he came through. Second game, like I mean, the numbers were stupid. Kyrie, what that does is that you have somebody to me offensively, they won't be stopped. That trio. But when you say have they been exposed, I mean, I knew as soon as that trade happened, they got rid of like all their good defenders. They gave up 142 points to the worst offense in basketball. Like, and I'm not surprised because they don't have a good, like, Kyrie Irving is not stopping nobody. Steph Curry used to cook them up back in the days when they were in the finals all the time. James Harden is not stopping nobody. Kevin Durant is a good defender. Jeff Green's a good defender, but he's old. And DeAndre Jordan is sometimes unplayable depending on who you're playing against. Joe Harris is not defending nobody.
Mm.
And I can't name one person that comes off of the bench. Think about it.
Exactly.
Karis LeVert,
Exactly.
not there no more. Spencer Dinwiddie is hurt. He's out for the year. They got rid of Jonathan. Jared Allen. I mean, what's on their bench?
There's nothing. Guys got to step up and see what you got.
Landry Shamit, like he
Yeah,
hasn't done nothing for him.
I don't like his hair. It bothers
No,
me. Anyway,
Walu Cabarro,
but Joe Harris is definitely coming off your bench now, and we saw that with Kyrie back.
all
Uh,
Joe Harris can do is shoot threes. What else can he do?
exactly. That's all he's going to
So
do. But let's be honest. That team is not done building though. Like, they're going to go out and get some other guys, and it's going to be either through, you know, guys that don't want to play for an organization anymore, that force the hand for them to get a buyout and cut, and they'll just be like, "Hey, come get this 1-year deal and run it with us real quick," or they'll trade some of these young guys and go get a decent bench player.
but they don't have assets to give up anymore. They
They
gave up
don't.
all their assets.
I agree, but this is sucker born every day too. Like, there's some guy that could be like, "Oh, we need cap space, so we'll give you this guy," and like cash
Why would
consideration.
anybody want to help out Brooklyn? They're already stacked.
There's a snake, and a sucker born every day. I agree. The idea should be to beat them, not make them better.
Exactly.
But if you're looking at the like some of these guys, they look at the long run picture, be like, "Oh, this guy is what we need. We need a guy that can give us threes, and we can trade for him and get him, and he's a 3-point specialist." But I'm not trying to help those fuckers. Fuck them. I hate the Nets, man. Like, I think it's a team of snakes, and except for Harden, I think it's a little bit of a snakish move to him, but he wanted out. But
Nah,
it happens that's a team that would have got him.
I have no issue with him wanting out of here.
I have none either. I don't
None,
think he's a
man.
snake. It's just a
Yeah.
team that traded for him. And
My thing about
he's having fun playing basketball. You're seeing.
my thing about Kyrie, man, Kyrie is just ever since that whole debacle with like when he tried to get out of Cleveland and go to Boston and stuff. I have not understood him ever since then because he wants to be the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he sucks at being the guy.
He's not that guy.
When LeBron was in Miami and he was the guy, that team was terrible. LeBron gets there, they're in the finals every year. He goes to Boston, they did better without him, with Terry Rozier, with young Jason Tatum, with young Jaylen Brown. Like they did better without him. Then he goes to Brooklyn and they did better without him. Like,
and he was hurt.
And he was hurt. As usual, he gets hurt.
They get rid of the guy who was good.
Listen, in the 2016 NBA Finals, I stand by this. If Kyrie Irving did not get hurt in game one, they would have beat that team. So to me, you don't know if he's ever going to be healthy because he's always hurt. There's always something like wrong with him, and his mind is just
not guided right.
I love some of what he stands for. I love that, he bought the house for, George Floyd's family. He gave money to the WNBA. I love, his charitable. I love all of that stuff. But there's a time and a place to be able to do both. Like LeBron James does the same thing. A lot of other basketball players give back to the communities and do the same exact thing, but they make time for their team. They're cordial with their management.
At the end of the day, I mean, like, staff. It was shitty of Jackie McMullen to say like he's owned by the team. Like, that's some sort of shit.
Especially from Jackie. I expect a lot more from Jackie. Jackie's not one of those type of people, so I expect more from Jackie.
I don't either, but like, at the end of the day, you're paid to play basketball. Mm-hmm. And basketball, like I said in the last one, gives you a big platform to do what you want.
To do all of that, exactly.
Use it.
$40 million a year is not going for you to skip games on just because of the headline.
If anybody's got an open door policy and like his door is always open to come talk, it's Adam Silver.
Yep.
Adam Silver, that goofy alien looking guy, has got his door open. He's open to shit. But Kyrie, like you said it best, and I keep saying it all the time. Like, he means well, but he's just like misguided on a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
And he needs like the right, like, we all wish KD could be that guy to be like, well, you should probably do this, but KD ain't like that.
Easy money sniper, you're gonna go out there and hoop. That's
exactly. KD's like the guy that's always at the basketball court all the time,
playing pickup games. Yeah, I remember when I first started college, I used to be at the basketball court all the time, and KD is just all day long at the basketball court. Like, that's why I'm not surprised that he's playing this well coming back from injury.
Look at his interviews. His interviews are like the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Doris Burke will go out there and be like, "So KD, you dropped 37, 7, and 6 tonight. That Achilles tear, how's it making you feel?" I feel good.
Like, you know who I am.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, but even with that, like, we know what KD brings to the table. This kid Colin Sexton, like, Cavs invested in him.
Colin Sexton,
he was kind of quiet his rookie year, but he's showing up now, man. He's showing up.
He was quiet his rookie year because he had to follow LeBron. Like, LeBron, they drafted him and LeBron left, so he has to be the next face of Cleveland. So that's tough. That's tough for a 19-year-old point guard. That's tough. But
do you think he's can be a top caliber point guard, shooting guard, or?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that he plays for Cleveland. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. And he has a lot of, like, what I love about John Morant, I love about him as well. Like, he doesn't back down. He's not scared. And the beast came to his home court talking all this mess. Kyrie Irving's pointing to his finger like, I got a ring. And Kevin, it's the big three, the three amigos. And he dropped 20 in a row. He was hitting shots in front of in KD's mouth, Kyrie's mouth, James Harden's mouth. Who wanted it? He got it. So, Colin, the young bull, they call him that for a reason. I think he has a lot. He has that thing, and. They made a lot of moves because I saw Allen playing finally.
That inbound pass, that was some spiteful shit right there.
Right, that was.
Y'all want to get past me now, huh?
What's that kid's name? Chetty Osman. I love Chetty Osman. But So and Kevin Love wasn't even playing. They got Drummond, they got Larry Nance Jr. They have a good nucleus. It's Cleveland. It's
It's
just
Cleveland, yeah.
that's the
It's
problem. And I felt like if he played it like think if the Knicks got him, I think he'd be great in New York.
I think
Colin Sexton,
he's close
honestly.
to, but it's like I don't know. I feel like Cleveland, like the Knicks' problem is there's just too many role players on that team,
Yeah,
in my opinion. Cleveland doesn't have that, and
yeah,
you're giving him a lot of room to do what he wants, and I like that for him.
yeah.
But you mentioned Ja, and Ja's back. Ja, since being back, is averaging 17 a game, and he's beating your Sixers and Phoenix.
Hmm.
So what's to stop him from making a playoff appearance this year if he can continue to, keep Grizzlies, uh, going the way that they're going? I don't think it's an NBA team.
Two two things will stop. One, he plays in the West.
hmm
It's just tough. And number two, COVID-19. I've been on record. Adam Silver, I love that man to death. I think he's the best commissioner in sports right now. But they had an opportunity to start this season on MLK Day, which was a couple days ago.
Would have been
But
better.
but the owners, they all about that bread and that money. That's all they care about. All these billionaires are trying to stay billionaires, right? And they wanted the season to start right before Christmas because revenue, it pays for them to start. And I think he caved and gave into what they demanded. And now your best players are missing games. Now Memphis, they had a hot start with him coming back, and then the next three games are canceled. Washington, they have Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. That's two great players. You can't see them on TV because the games are getting canceled. So I think Memphis could be a great team, but I think COVID is the biggest story right now because
Yeah,
it's killing a lot of teams right now.
it's crazy. Like, money is the root of all evil. Like it
Mhm.
really is. People are just greedy. It sucks that people are taking losses. Um, and economically, we should be structured to try and shouldn't allow things like this to happen. But it's showing that a lot of people weren't prepared for things like this to happen. But I don't want to get into politics or anything like that. But
Yeah.
it would have been more smart. If you want politics, you can listen to my other podcast that I did. But anyways,
With Tremonte and friends,
yeah, you can
give him
hear
a
you can
shout
hear
out. Shout out to Tremonte and
shout
friends.
out to Tremonte. Yeah, we have some technical issues with that getting uploaded, but it'll get uploaded tomorrow most likely. Uh, but the issue is these guys, like you said, it's money hungry. They want to recover that revenue that was lost from being in the bubble.
Yep.
So they moved it, to Christmas when they could have waited, a month and a half and just did it on MLK Day. And I think it would have been a little bit smoother sailing. You get all those different holidays out of the way that you're going to have your players want to be around their family. They
Hmm.
want to be around them for Christmas. They want to be around them for New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, all that shit. Even Valentine's Day, like all these things are coming up. So like it's just crazy
And
shit about to happen.
and now the
So
protocols are getting weird. Like I mean, I
the
I get it,
protocols are so weird
but they
now.
don't want you doing nothing. So basically, I
It's
know
a
Jordan.
bubble without out of the bubble.
Exactly. It's a bubble without the bubble. So people are still gonna get COVID, and you're still not letting them like shake hands at half court. You're still not letting them leave their hotel room. You're still not. So it's like, what's worse? And nobody wants to go back to the bubble. Like it's like from what I've been hearing from all these other players,
It
that
was
was
hard.
like the most mentally draining thing. It's like it's so weird to say it because they're millionaires. You know what I mean? Like they're 5-star hotels, they're getting catered meals, but like you're still living under these rules that you can't do. Like I can't see my family. I can't, do
Yeah.
this, do
If you're
that.
a family man like a LeBron James, I get that. Like
Yeah,
that's mentally draining not to see your kids and your wife that you do TikTok videos with and you do
yeah.
Taco Tuesday with and
Taco
all this stuff.
Tuesday, yeah.
But it's crazy to think that the bubble worked so well and the NBA was like the best place for them to do it, the best thing to do, the best organization to do it, and now they're just getting sloppy with
They
it.
got they got real sloppy.
They're getting real
And I
sloppy
was
with
making fun of hockey and baseball and football all in the fall and the winter. Like, man, look how terrible they look. They should have followed the NBA style
the
somehow.
NBA. Is
But the
just
NBA was like, look, man, we need that money. And at the end of the day, money, money talks.
it's the root of all evil. But what do you think? Does it come down to? um just people not listening to rules and egos, or does it just come to like just everyday life?
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I can speak for myself. I remember when I was going when quarantine first started. After a few months, man, I started losing my head. And these guys are human beings. It's impossible to just lock yourself in for the rest of your like for a whole year. Like, and they're asking like millionaires who are used to like going out and like remember Kyrie Irving went to his sister's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you can look at it both ways. Like he shouldn't have been there without a mask, blah blah blah. I had no problem with him being there. I think he should have been smarter about it not to get caught, and
Yeah.
maybe he should have wore a mask while he was there.
You should
But
also like warn the coach too. Like tell your
yeah,
coach, hey
and
man,
and
I'm going to my
inform your
sister's
coaches
birthday.
exactly. But like, I don't blame him. I mean, it's his sister's birthday, and all these people got families that they're having kids that are having birthday parties. That if you're being selfish and going to the strip club the night before a game, that's one thing. But like, if you want to go see your family, it's I mean, at some point, if you're interacting with a lot of people, it's kind of inevitable because how contagious it is. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get it. But I feel like what they're trying to do is lock down too much on something that can't be locked down unless you do a bubble. So it's just there's really no proper way to do this to me. They have to get through it. Like the NFL, they were postponing games all season, and here we are in the playoffs.
Yeah, look at college
We
football.
forget
There's
about
like
all of this. College football, we had a championship. Hockey, we had
some
a,
played
we had
eight
a world.
games, some teams played five. Like
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, they're not gonna cancel the season again. They're not gonna put us in a bubble. They're not gonna do any of that stuff. What they're gonna do is just get through this time. Eventually, their players will be allowed to take the vaccine and kind of smooth out a little bit. Because I mean, that's kind of what happened with the NFL. Like it's leveled out. It really has. So it's still January. The season's only a month old. We're barely a quarter into the season. We're not even a quarter into the season yet. So I think they're just gonna let this ride and hopefully nothing crazy happens. But when you have someone like Karl Anthony Towns, who has lost 7 family members to COVID, and that he has COVID now, you got to be a little skeptical about stuff like you got to be a little cautious about stuff like that. So we're gonna see, we're gonna see how it plays out. I think probably a month and a half from now, we'll probably see it kind of calm down a little bit. But until then, postponing is going to happen, and they're still going to lose money because they try
money's
to rush it.
that's the thing, but it's like they're trying to recover all this money, and my heart goes out to Carl Anthony Towns, because that's sad. But
Yeah,
stop fucking around with Kardashian people. Like don't be fucking around with
Jordan.
those that posse right there. But like it's just sad that it's come to this. Like if I'm a player, like it's just like being like a civilian at any job. Like
Yeah,
you got to take this serious. Like even if your boss caught you out, on Facebook, bottles up, no mask at one of these little super spreader events, he's gonna have some questions for you.
yeah.
So what makes you think
Especially if
that?
I'm not showing up for work.
Yeah, especially if you're taking time off, like
Yep,
if and it's because you need to clear some things up. Like
yep.
you know, I don't disagree that there's something wrong, something with Kyrie that's bothering him, but I don't know, man. It's like
That's a lot.
what makes you think that like shit that I gotta go through and you gotta go through makes you better than us? Like we got to do the same thing too.
Yeah, but
It's
I would
tough.
never speak on what a man's going through because they
I'm not
everybody goes
either.
through things differently. So it is a lot going on. But hopefully there's a better tomorrow. We just gotta. That's all we can do is just hope for a better tomorrow.
I guess. Well, um, we were gonna talk rookies, but I feel like we're going up on a little bit of time. So
Yeah.
let's jump into where he go to college. Let's wrap it up and
Where did he go to
go from
college?
there.
So I was gonna be nice to you, only give you one, but now I'm going five again. So we're gonna start with the 1991 draft class, and
All
we're
right.
gonna we're gonna work our way up. Now everybody on this list, there's a reason why I picked the player because I either like them, I played video games as that with that player, or they had a cool name or something like that. Okay, are you ready?
Mhm.
You look nervous.
It's hot in here. I gotta
It's hot. Okay, a little too much tequila in your blood right now. All
look.
right, my boy Terrell Brandon. Where did he go to college?
Dude has so much potential too, and nothing ever came
The
of it,
boy
man.
was nice though, but yeah,
What was nice, but just always hurt. Boy went to Oregon.
he went to Oregon. Congrats, good job. 1 for 1.
Quack, quack,
Quack,
quack.
quack. All right, this one right here. There's a reason why I picked him. In the Last Dance documentary, there was a guy that Michael Jordan found a reason to be angry at for no reason. His name is LeBradford Smith. Do you remember that in the Last Dance, that whole episode?
I don't like remember that dude at all in the NBA.
So
To be
LeBradford Smith was an irrelevant player. I'll be honest with you,
honest.
but the only reason why I know who he is because of the Last Dance documentary. He was like trending on all social media because of that episode.
I'm not going for that one.
And I
Sorry,
figured you, the nerd, will look him up, but you didn't.
I didn't, and I don't care about LeBradford Smith.
LeBradford Smith went to Louisville.
Good for him in his career.
He was a first round pick, number 19. 1 for 2. All right. This next player. So through marriage, at one point I was related to this player through marriage because my uncle was married to his sister or something like that. PJ Brown.
Oh my God, I should know this. PJ Brown. Oh, I can see it right now. Oh man, not Mississippi State, is it?
No. No. Yeah, one more chance.
I see it too.
You don't.
He went to like a maroon and white college.
You don't see it.
Where'd he go?
Louisiana Tech.
Yeah. Damn, man.
Hey, that's a good player. That's a good player.
That's a relevant player. I should have known that.
1 out
You
of
know,
3.
who else went there, right?
Whom?
The mailman.
Carl? That he's so damn Southern. God.
He fucked 13-year-olds.
Whoa. We're not going to get into that. All right. This player, he was a backup point guard for the New Jersey Nets while they were relevant. He used to wear face masks. Lucius Harris. You know Lucius Harris.
I know Lucius Harris, but he wasn't relevant, man.
Come on, Lucius Harris. He backed up J. Kidd.
He was irrelevant, man. I knew more Devin Harris than Lucius Harris.
Yeah, but Devin Harris was great. Lucius Harris was good.
He had like one good year and then just filtered out.
Lucius Harris went to Long Beach State.
I was gonna guess somewhere in California too.
Damn lie.
I was, man. Like I can pick out these West Coast guys like really good.
All right, one last one. You're probably gonna get this wrong too, but he was a good player. Deshaun Leonard.
You gave me that one already.
I didn't give you Deshaun Leonard before.
Yeah, you did. Minnesota. We did this one last one.
You sure?
So I'm 100% sure.
All right, I'm gonna give
Deshaun Leonard.
All right, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I think maybe I like the player a lot. Where did Aaron McKee of the 76ers go to college?
That boy was a baller, and he was in the same front court with Eddie Jones at Temple, and they came in the same draft.
Good job.
No, they didn't come in the same draft, I don't think.
They didn't, but no, they did. They did. Eddie Jones was the 10th pick.
94?
94. Eddie Jones was the 10th pick, and Aaron McKee was the 17th pick out of Temple. That's why we loved him over in the 76ers. He was a Philly kid.
He's a good defender, man. Underrated defender, man.
You did okay for what it's worth. You couldn't get Lucius Harris. Come on now.
You gotta give me one more. You gotta give me a bonus one now.
Yeah, Eric Montrose. You gotta get this one. Come on.
That big goofy fuck from North Carolina?
Yeah.
That dude was like so hyped and had like that racist sergeant buzz cut going on.
Buzz cut, yeah. I'm like, ooh. But I was a Tar Heel fan. I'm like, I don't know about this one.
Man, he was a big bust. I think it was the Celtics that got him too.
Yeah, correct.
6th pick?
9th pick.
9th pick. I knew it was like top 10. Knew that.
He's a Tar Heel. He was gonna be a top 10 pick.
Hey man. All right. Well,
you did all right.
That's our show.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. You can
drop those ads.
Yeah, smash those likes and subscribe buttons.
Subscribe, dude.
Follow
subscribe button.
Follow us on Twitter at fair_weatherpod. IG, the Fair Weather Podcast. YouTube, you can find us, the Fair Weather Podcast. And then wherever you subscribe to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, you'll find us there, and we're also uploading on Facebook, so you can
We
find
all
us.
over the place, all of them, all of
Tell
them.
tell your friends about us. We going international.
State Farm Bowl, can't wait.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.